Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany
and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows.
like Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, and more.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany,
I'm Cynthia.
and today we're talking about season 2, episode 10, titled Don't Take Me for Granted. Air date November 30th, 2004, and the synopsis is
After the prom, Felix says Anna's gained a worse reputation than his. While Payne has a hard time with rumors, she ends up taking a stand at school. When Nathan goes home, Haley tells him she wants him to go to High Flyers but won't stop seeing Chris, so he walks out. Brooke blames Felix for her broken windshield. Dan takes the reins back at the dealership and offers Key to stay on. Kieran orders Lucas to take the heart test or no basketball. And then Chris gets a chance to go on tour and asks Haley to join him and kisses her. So Lucas is narrating again. And then the episode starts at night showing Brooke's house and we hear some glass shattering. Then the next morning Brooke walks to her car to see the windshield is shattered.
how'd you like when she just looks at Felix as if he did it?
Right. I mean he was there, so I can see the coincidence you would think, but yeah. And then at Lucas's, Haley calls him. She says, sorry to bother him, but she hasn't seen Nathan since their fight last night. And Lucas says that he doesn't know
So,
where he is.
do you like Lucas lying to Haley?
No, but now I can see how it's complicated now that, he's close with Nathan and
Well,
their brothers and
that's the thing is that's his brother, and
mm-hmm.
you're supposed to have loyalty to your sibling.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the time, but you're if you have a good relationship, you're supposed to. But then that's your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what do you do?
Right.
So I mean, Nathan and Haley are actually to blame for that because they put him in that
Yeah.
situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so after he hangs up, then that's when he walks past Nathan who was sleeping on the floor. And then
Okay, so there really is no spare room or anything
no, I guess not. No.
because I don't know.
Right.
And everybody just walks through Lucas's door.
Yeah, I mean his door is right to the outside too, so
I know, but it's not even the front door. Nobody is going to the
mm-hmm.
front door.
Except if they're for Karen.
Yeah, apparently that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like they use the kitchen door more often too in the front. And then Lucas tells Nathan to talk to Haley and work it out because it sounds like she's not going to school anyway. Um,
Well, and then so we learned that apparently, um, the prom or what
formal,
dance is this? Formal, whatever.
yeah.
Apparently it was on a Sunday.
Well, I said prom in the synopsis too, so but yeah,
Well,
it's weird. It's Sunday.
I mean, aren't school dances on Saturdays?
Yeah, that was probably the biggest miswrite so far in a teen movie, a show,
'Cause
because
I'm
everybody knows
like,
dances are Saturdays.
well, yeah, because then you could stay out late.
Mm-hmm.
So that made no sense.
Yeah. Lucas said it was probably to keep students from partying, getting wasted, arguing with their
But they're
wives.
but they're gonna do that not the whole wives part,
Yeah.
but they're gonna do that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm surprised Brooke was going to school and Lucas. Like, I don't know. It's just some of them are going to school.
Yeah, I
You
guess
know what I
after that
mean?
turmoil. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought they'd all want to, sit one out.
Skip. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, so this episode was so crazy to me. Like, I did not remember this at all. Um, it was we were finding out all these like everyone's secrets, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it was also the same episode that everybody was just like outing everyone else. And
Right.
it was like, what did this turn into?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know about you, but when I was watching it, I was cracking up. I'm like, this one is going after this one. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, kind of like the sleepover.
Well, but it's funny because on other shows, this would be like a two episode thing, or you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't find out for another 5 episodes that so and so did something like mouth. You wouldn't find that out till like 5 episodes later on other shows.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, you find out the same episode.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what? So that's what threw me off. I'm like, whoa, we're not even gonna have an episode in between. We're just jumping right to what Mouth did.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. So that's why it was really good because it just kept me going. I'm like, what else is gonna happen?
Right. And then Nathan asks, how did it go, with Anna to Lucas? And he says that it didn't exactly end, they didn't end the night spend the night together.
No,
And then,
but
yeah.
but then Brooke walks in because that's who he spent his night with.
Mm-hmm. And then Brooke sees Nathan and she's like, you're related, right? And says
Well,
double E
then
with Tudor wife is there.
yeah, to the right there. It's like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. But yeah, Brooke was funny. You two are related, right? It's like, oh my God, Brooke.
Mm-hmm. So she wants to go walk to school with Lucas, with her car being damaged. And then, Nathan tells him to go ahead. He'll catch up with him later. He's not going to school anyway, so.
Yeah, and so Nathan is supposed to go home and talk, work it out with his wife. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then Anna finally gets home and walks into her room when Felix is standing in the hallway, calling her the angel of the morning. And Anna tells him she wasn't with Lucas, so he can just chill. And she said that she stayed at Peyton's. And Felix says that their parents would love that. And Anna says for him not to tell them. And he says to let them know, he tells her to let him know when they need to start packing again.
He's so annoying.
Yeah. And then at the dealership, Keith walks into Dan's office to find Dan there.
Oh my God, that was crazy. I was like, well, I mean, he did kind of out himself the last episode that he was clear.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I guess it's time to go back to work. I mean, no more trying to get your marriage back.
Right.
But it was funny though, because I'm sure Keith is like, okay, I'm done here. But then it was
Yep.
okay. Dan was like a totally different person this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I can't with him because he's so nice.
Yeah.
I'm like, what has gotten into him?
Mm-hmm.
Because okay, what did you think when he offered Keith partner or something?
Vice president.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw as like another way to use him like he did with, Keith's business, I guess you forgot Dan took over,
Well, I
you
know
know?
he took over. He like bought it. It was like,
Yeah, so that's why I'm surprised that Keith would want to go into business with him again after he stopped in the back that time.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And had other people be his boss, and he remember he didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm like, what? Like, it's Dan. I don't get
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy that everybody like just sucks right into Dan.
Yeah. It's like he's a
Like,
etch a sketch.
I would stay 100 feet away from that man.
Yeah. It's like whatever he does is like on a I can't even say it again now. Um, etch a sketch, you know what I mean? And it's like it gets shaken up and cleared and it's like everybody just forgot what, where the lines were. Like they weren't even there. Something like that.
It's like they just like listen to whatever he's got, and then okay, like they're like little puppies. They just follow
Mm-hmm.
along, and it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, do you guys remember anything he has done?
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember, and that's why it's just so crazy that they just get sucked right into him.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's how the town is too, right? I would say probably besides Whitey, but I think everybody else gets sucked into whatever he's got going on.
Yeah.
Whitey's probably the only one that truly goes against him.
And maybe Nathan too.
Nah, no, no. Nathan sucks right into anything Dan's got to say, especially when it comes to the future. Like season 4, he gets
Mm-hmm.
like sucked into Dan.
Right. Yeah, I know down the
I
line he
hate it.
does.
I hate
Mm-hmm.
it. Because I'm like, what? Do you remember your childhood?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's all I got. Like, for Nathan, like, come on now. You were raised with this man. But yeah, all of them just get sucked in as soon as he puts his little happy, nice face on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Everything's good. He's done nothing wrong. Right.
And then the next scene, Brooke and Lucas are walking together outside on the school campus. And Lucas asks her who does she think messed up her car. She says Felix. They
She's
stopped
on this whole
benefiting.
Felix train, ain't she?
Mm-hmm. And Lucas is glad that they ended it. And Brooke asks, why? Because he doesn't like him. And Lucas answers no, because she's better than that.
And he hates him.
Mm-hmm. And
But
then Brooke says, hmm,
I think Nathan hates him more. I don't know why, but he does.
right. And then Brooke says that she misses this talking to him. And then elsewhere on the quad, Felix walks up to Mouth, who is sitting sitting down. And Felix asks, what happened to him. And Mouth says he's not talking to him. And Felix says if it makes him feel any better, Brooke dumped him. And he asks if Mouth told her about the dollhouse and trick. Mouth replies that he thought she should know the truth. And Felix says he deserved it. It's a rule of life. Whatever crap you pull will always come back to you. It's part of the game. And Mouth says it's not a game. And Felix says that it took her less than an hour to crush him and hook up with Lucas. And Mouse says Lucas wouldn't do that. He's with Anna. And then that's when
She
Felix
didn't
points
hook up
out,
with him. It's so annoying.
yeah, he's just assuming. So Felix points out Brooke and Lucas walking together up ahead. He tells Mouth it's okay to freak out. He did last night.
So, okay. So because Felix, it's hinting that he did this.
Hmm.
How did he freak out then? Like
I don't
in
know. Just,
reality, because we know obviously the end, it's mouth, but it's
mm,
like, then how did he? Like, what did he do then? Just get
I guess,
upset? I don't get it.
yeah, in his room, yeah. Um, no, 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 no. No, that's something different.
I mean,
Um,
did he like rip up pictures of them or something?
maybe, yeah, possibly. Um, so then Nathan gets home. Haley tells him she's sorry. She was wrong last night and found his letter from the camp and she wants him to go. And Nathan says it's not about the camp, it's about trust. He wants her to
Okay,
stop working with Chris.
I can't. Mm. Okay, Cynthia.
Hmm.
Okay, so we know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Okay, in season 3, what's the one thing that stops them from getting back together?
Chris.
Trust. No, trust.
Oh, yeah,
Because Nathan says, I love you. I just can't trust you.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, it's season 2.
Hmm.
So what we're finding out, because we know what happens. So rewatching it, I'm like, so you didn't trust her here either.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, how long is it gonna go on that you don't trust her? It's
Right.
like, and can you ever really fully trust somebody again? I'm just putting it out there.
Most likely no.
Exactly. And because it's gone on for so long,
Hmm.
we have season 2, the rest of season 2. Then
Hmm.
we have season 3 of not trusting her.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like in reality,
Hmm.
you would break up, you would split up because you can't trust the person.
Right.
So, um, that's like my whole thing is, especially when he said I can't trust you, I was like, huh, you say that in season 3 too, Nathan.
Hmm.
It's just kind of crazy to like rewatch it and be like, just some things you find.
Right.
But okay, so who do you think should have apologized here?
Haley.
Me too. Because he was only upset.
Mm.
She lied to him.
Yeah.
So I think Haley definitely should. But why does she think she's so innocent in this episode?
I don't know, because she's like making the excuse that it's for her music.
No. Um, because then he tells her that he wants her to stop seeing him.
Hmm.
So valid.
Right.
And okay, in order to get somebody's trust back, to win them back,
Hmm.
Wouldn't you think you would stop with the
Yeah.
whole Chris?
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you truly don't like him, like you said last episode, which was apparently last night, you don't have feelings for him, even though it took you how long in the evening to tell him that? Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you said that you don't like him. So then why wouldn't you just end it
Right.
and find maybe a producer that's married?
Mm-hmm.
You know
And
what I
older.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right. That could be your actual mentor, not Chris.
Right.
So that's what was kind of weird to me. I'm like, you mean to tell me there's no one else you could turn to?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Peyton would be better.
Yeah.
Like, she knows music.
Mm-hmm.
She could tell you if it sucks or not. Like, it's just annoying that you're going to Chris. And then again, right after this whole crazy, fight, then you still have the nerve to say, no, I won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, uh, why?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if these two were not married, they'd be broken up
Mm-hmm.
so fast.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem, is they rushed into this marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You don't agree that they rushed?
No, I do, yeah.
Because
And
now
then
look what happened.
yep, Nathan walks out again.
That was funny too. I was like, bye, Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
Can
You
I
would
just
think that
say something?
mm,
And you're going to roll your eyes at me.
mm,
But Nathan was looking real good in this episode.
mm-hmm.
That's all I was saying. I was like, oh my God. And then that shirt he was wearing later on in the episode, I was like, oh my God.
Yep, whereas I don't remember what the shirt looked like. It's like,
Oh my God. I was just like, and that was funny because like Lucas was in the scene, but I'm just like,
hmm,
I'm like, there's just Nathan. I'm just over here looking at Nathan. Sorry,
mm-hmm.
Lucas. You're in the scene too. Yeah, yeah, Chad. You're in the scene, but I'm busy looking at James.
Yeah, which is funny because you kept talking about him when we were doing Dawson's Creek.
I did what?
You were talking about Chad?
Well, I like Lucas. It wasn't the girl that loved Chad.
Oh, okay.
That was
That was
JC.
just, yeah, okay. And then,
I mean, I like him, but
mm-hmm,
I wasn't like all in love with him like all these other girls were.
right. And then back at school, Brooke walks over to Peyton at her locker. She asks her if she heard about her window and then tells
Oh,
her what
by
happened.
the way, don't let JC find out that I I like Nathan.
Okay.
What was the one thing she gave me crap for on Dawson's Creek?
About talking about Pacey all the time?
No, she said I don't like blonde guys.
Oh,
And then here we are, me picking Nathan.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so Brooke asks, could things get any worse? And that's when Peyton closes her locker door to show Brooke the word, the word, has been spray painted in red paint.
These schools don't have cameras, do they?
Probably not back then, no.
To
At
pinpoint who
least
did this.
not inside, probably. At least
Mm. Okay, what year was this?
2000, 2004 still.
Okay, so we were in fifth grade.
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia, it's very hard for me to believe that they did not have cameras.
I just can't imagine them being inside, and then outside, he probably went there when it was dark, so I can't really see him either. I don't know.
No, because I'm saying like at the school, vandalizing her locker.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in middle school, um, and we didn't have the rich school or anything. We were not a
Mm-hmm.
rich school. But do you remember we had cameras?
Yeah.
Because it was in the office and you could sit there and watch people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was just a few
Um,
years after this. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is we were in fifth grade in this episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the fact that the next year we had cameras in middle
Mm-hmm.
school, I mean, I didn't hang around in the elementary office, so I wouldn't know if there was cameras, but just given how the next year there was for us, it makes me it's hard to believe that they didn't have cameras in this high school. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? If we
Mm-hmm.
did, it's hard to
Mm-hmm.
believe they wouldn't.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. And then yeah, so Peyton asks if she wants to ask her that again, and some girls near them stare at her. And then back at the quad, Brooke gives Felix a paper with the estimate of her windshield
Can I
to
just say
stay
something
nearby.
about Peyton though
Oh
and
yeah.
Brooke?
Yeah.
Okay, uh, these girls are laughing at Peyton.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton is, besides Brooke, the popular girl is like the most popular girl at school.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to imagine that she would get bullied. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Because those girls bully the rest of the school. They don't get bullied. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, at least Brooke.
No, but like, okay, the popular girls in our school.
Mm.
Could you imagine anyone laughing at them?
Mm, not really. No.
Okay, and if somebody tried it, it wouldn't work. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Because they have
Mm-hmm.
more power. They can,
Fun.
um, I mean, yeah, I just don't see a world that Brooke and Peyton would be bullied.
Right.
I just can't because, you know, they would just have too much power, especially Brooke, over any girl. So it's just weird that that Peyton's being laughed at.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe some of the people would probably, believe the rumor, but
I mean, like Haley, I could see getting laughed at,
hmm
but not Brooke or Peyton.
right.
So that was weird to me.
hmm And it was kind of a little bit like of a callback almost to Jack, at school with, the rumors of him and Joey in the hallway.
Well, remember when I said that it didn't make any sense in Dawson's Creek that they um had these people who were not popular by any means, and people cared about what was going on in their lives, and it's like, huh? Do you mean like people at school? I'm like, they didn't, because it didn't make sense. But here on this show, it makes sense because they're the popular ones. You know what I mean?
hmm
They're the ones people look to and look at. And so, you know, whatever's going on in their lives, the whole school might hear about it
Yeah, maybe.
compared to like Dawson's Creek. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe the people are just nosy too, no matter who it is.
And it's like our school, it just goes around, you just hear it.
hmm Yeah, and then back on the quad, Brooke gives Felix the paper, with the estimate like we talked about before, because she thinks he did it. And
I just love how he's just, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
mhm. And then he says he didn't break her window, just her heart. And then Brooke sits with Peyton at another table and says, with men like that in the world, no wonder why they're not gay. And Peyton tells Brooke to see how, everybody's looking at her. And Brooke tells her that nobody's taking this seriously. And Payne says, really, because half of the girls in PE wouldn't change in front of her. So that's,
Um, I I didn't like what Brooke said when she said, "Well, that's just because you look better than they do or something." And I'm like, "Really?"
naked. I mean, she was just trying to cheer her up. So,
I know, but it's rude.
yeah. Well, what they're doing is mean to her, worse, even. So then she asks Payne if she has any idea who did it, and Payne shakes her head no. Brooke says that if she asks her, they did her a favor because boys love lesbians. Now, that's the part I didn't like. So,
Mm-hmm.
But I give that credit to you know, the
The person.
the creator. Yeah, I don't know what to call him. Um, and then Brooke says the old P Sawyer wouldn't have just rolled with this, and Payne says, she hasn't been the old her in a long time. And Brooke tells her that her real friends are there for her, and just then Anna sees Payne but keeps walking. And Payne tells Brooke she's gonna get out of there, and she want to go with her, and Brooke says she can't because she has a quiz next period, and she messes it, her grade's gonna go down. And then both Anna and Lucas watch Peyton walk off. And then Nathan goes to see Chris at the studio.
First of all, how does he know exactly where the studio's at?
Maybe because it's the only studio in town, or maybe she told the studio before, where it was when she went there last time.
So I'm like, Nathan knows exactly where to go. He knows Chris is gonna be there.
Yeah, the timing is something, yeah.
I'm because it's just weird because
anything.
we know he works at the music store or whatever. So I'm just like, how do you know exactly what time he's gonna be there?
Right. I mean, he could have probably went to the music store first, see that he's not there, and then go to the studio. That's probably what he did.
Yeah, I think he was stalking him.
Yeah. And I can see like Peyton knowing where the studio is too, to tell him. So
Okay. Cynthia,
mm.
what do I love?
About Nathan threatening Chris.
I love when the guys protect.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when Nathan fights.
Yeah.
Oh my god, more than anything, it's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, you mean to tell me this scene you weren't loving?
No, I was.
I know you wanted them to like shake on it or something. I wanted some punches, which I didn't get.
Mm-hmm.
I only got some threats, which made me laugh. But did you see that his voice changed?
Nathan's?
Yes.
Yeah, a little.
Yes. It changed. Um so but Chris, why? Why does he gotta say something?
Right.
Why does your boy Chris have to say something? I just don't get it.
He's not my boy.
I mean, you already can see where Nathan's at when he walks in. It's like, and then you gotta just say something. It's like, so
Mm-hmm.
whatever happens to you, Chris, that's on you. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're just messing with him.
Yeah.
Because when he said, like, oh, what? You can't trust her and stuff. And it's like, really?
Right.
But how did you like how he said, when Chris said, you love her, you married her, but you can't trust her? I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Because it is true. But I'm just like, why? Why?
Yeah, well,
Oh my
because
God.
he said, but can you trust her? Because if he doesn't, he has nothing to worry about. So, yeah.
Yeah. And but then Nathan just he just definitely goes further with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because, because then he said that, like Chris has a big problem. You
Mm-hmm.
can smile and act cool if you want to, but the fact is, I used to destroy guys like you. And I was like, and that's where his voice like changes. And I was like,
Mm.
um, okay, time out for a second. Nathan, who did you destroy? Because
Right.
you had minions destroy
Yeah.
him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the
I
only
was,
one we've seen was Lucas. So,
but he wasn't the one doing it. It
mm-hmm.
was the rest of the team.
Yeah.
So I was like, you always have your little minions do the dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what are you talking about when you said you destroy people or whatever? And I was like, that didn't make any sense to me because I'm like, we never actually saw it. And
Mm-hmm.
remember the fight that Lucas and Nathan had? Nathan was on the bottom.
Right.
So what's he talking about?
Yeah.
But when he said that, I was like, you might want to look at your re-look at your facts there, buddy,
Mm-hmm.
from season one.
Yeah. And then too, when
But
he threatened to ruin
his
Chris's
hand,
hand. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it would be a shame if you couldn't play that guitar anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
my
because he had him by the
God.
neck and the wrist.
Yes. Um, but how did you like that when Nathan said that he said, "Don't cry, you'll ruin your makeup."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my God, Nathan, I can't."
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just so good.
Right.
Seriously, you're telling me that
Mm.
wasn't good?
No, it was.
But I mean, Nathan doesn't trust Haley. Like
Mm-hmm.
I do somewhat agree with Chris.
Right. Yeah, or
You
else he
know,
wouldn't have gone there in the first place. Yeah.
exactly. And also, if your wife would have just not like if she truly cared about you, first of all, she would have stopped working with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
She would have told you she was working with Chris to begin with.
Yeah.
But when you say basically like stop and she doesn't, it's like that's a kid act. That's what kids do. If
Mm-hmm.
you care about your relationship at all, you won't do it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm just like, so Haley is your problem, not Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's not Chris, who knows? It might be someone else that has like the same interest in her or the same interest that she has. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, what's he talking? Like, who knows? Maybe it would be like a Lucas and Brooke where she finds somebody that is interested in like books or something. Do you know what I mean? Could be
Mm-hmm.
anything. It's
Yeah.
just this one had to do with Chris and music.
Mm-hmm. And then at Peyton, she's calling her dad, but it goes to voicemail and she hangs up, doesn't leave a message. And
That
then that's
man is AWOL. He is like the worst
mm-hmm.
father.
Yep. And then Lucas shows up and he says that he saw her cut out at lunch and wanted to see how she was doing. And he sees she's been upset, so he tells her to come over and hug him. And then they sit down in the bed. And he asks if she knows, who wrote the word on her locker. And she says no. She doesn't even want to know. She just wants it to go away. And then Lucas sees a piece of paper of the artwork of Jake on her nightstand and picks it up. He asks if she misses him. He just tells Lucas to go. He tries to tell her not to push him away, but she says that he can't just walk in here and ask her something like that. When was the last time they even had a conversation about something real? He says he thought she could use a friend, and she says, yeah, she could, but he doesn't qualify anymore because a real friend would know all the crap that
Well,
she's
she's
been dealing
yeah.
with lately. Yeah.
He's like what?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't. I like that Lucas is trying to be there for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the way like Peyton is treating him because he does care. Like,
Yeah, we
what is her problem with him or anyone for that matter?
I don't know. Well, I mean, Lucas hasn't really been talking to her lately. But I guess she's just kind of like lashing out on anybody else because she just kind of can't even talk to anybody, her dad or Brooke, because they're all occupied with other things. So I don't know. She only wants she only wants care from certain people, and that doesn't include Lucas.
Also, I mean, her dad. She might as well give up trying to call that man
Mm-hmm. And then, and then Anna blew her off too, so that's another blow. So
but
three
it's like for
people,
her dad. It's like he never is there for her when she needs him,
right?
and I hate that for her because
Mm-hmm.
if your daughter or your child doesn't have the other parent, you're it. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to pick up the phone and call them back, and he just doesn't do any of that. I don't think that man calls her back when he sees that she's called 5 times. I don't think he you know ever tries to call because if he did, he'd be there.
Right. And then Felix is at home with his things still packed. And Jules shows up and asks if he was going to sneak away without saying goodbye. He says he's thinking about actually staying because Dan, he tells her, the position at the dealership, and Jules brings up Charleston, like, and he says he was thinking about saying no to that job over there. So I didn't think that the job was still open because it's been a while since they even came back. So
And it
I
was
was
for
surprised to hear about
teaching,
that.
right?
Yeah. And
Yeah, they
it's like
would need somebody right away.
um because it's like what, maybe halfway now into the year or semester or something. Like it should be too late for him to the position now. So that I don't know, it
Yeah,
just seemed
it's
weird.
been a few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jules tries to say, listen to me, she knows how much teaching Charleston means to him. She's seen him light up when he talks about it. And he says not as much as, when he talks about her. And Jules says one of the reasons she fell for him was his independence, made his own way in the world. His brother's business is his, Charleston is his own. He
But
says for
he had
Keith,
it. Wait. Keith had independence.
well, yeah, before Dan took over, I would think, but
Yeah, but she's saying like when she met him and stuff, like that's why she fell for him was that he had independence. And I'm like, he was working for his brother who took over his business and everything.
yeah, I don't know.
I was like, I don't know if that really qualifies. You know what I mean? Like he did make it, but she didn't know him then. So it didn't I don't know, those lines just didn't really add up to me.
Right. And then, yeah, so she tells Keith not to let Dan take that away from him anyhow. And then Lucas is in his room reading when Haley walks in. She asks if she can give Lucas a piece of advice. He says, nice to see her too. And Haley says the next time he wants to lie about something, he might
Make
want to
sure
make
your
sure his
mom
mom.
isn't.
Yep.
Oh my God. So apparently Karen said that Nathan slept there last night.
Right. Yeah. So I wonder how that conversation came up. Probably at the cafe when she was working. But yeah, Lucas tells her that Nathan needed time, to himself. And
I didn't care
um,
for that
yeah.
because
Mm.
they're married. Nathan chose that life.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what, Nathan? You chose to be married to her. Go sleep on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Not Lucas's house. This isn't high school.
Mm-hmm. And then just then Karen yells out Lucas's full name,
Lucas
Lucas
Eugene
Eugene.
Scar.
And Lucas says, that sounds bad.
I have a
Haley,
weird thing was Haley was like Eugene, as if she's
yeah,
never heard it. And
yeah, me too.
I was like, you're best friends and
You don't know his middle name?
exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
like you spent all that time together. You don't know
Yeah,
his middle name.
yeah.
Like you remember your friend's middle name, the one that you hung out with.
Mm-hmm.
So it just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like someone
Mm-hmm.
that you spent that much time with, you don't know their
Yeah.
middle name.
Yeah, and it's as weird as like not her, knowing somebody's birthday too. So,
Mm-hmm. It's weird.
mm-hmm. So then,
Because
Karen
okay, and
barges.
you
Yeah.
have to think too. When they were kids,
Mm-hmm.
Karen was saying his middle name
Right.
because all parents do that.
Mm-hmm. And then Karen barges into his room and, she's like yelling now, full
Oh my
volume.
God. Can I just say it? Her performance
It was good.
was was a 10. 10
Mm-hmm.
out of 10. I was like,
Yeah.
this was so good. I was cracking up. She was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody in this episode, minus Haley because she drove me nuts, but everybody else seemed to like up their game and I loved it. Haley, no, she went down.
Mm. Yeah.
But everybody else, they were just good. But
Mm-hmm.
Karen, oh my God, when she just comes in, starts, oh my God, I was scared of her.
So how did she find it again, Karen?
What?
Oh,
Oh,
Nathan. Did
uh,
Nathan tell her?
a little person called Nathan, little
Yeah.
brother.
So, do you think it's something that Nathan told Karen before he told Haley? I mean, because he did have, it was right for him to tell Karen, but I just thought it was weird that he didn't think to tell Haley too as well.
What about Lucas?
Yeah. No, no, about him, his own heart, about the test.
Um,
even though he was in the clear.
It's hard because when did he tell her? Because she came in firing like as if as if she just found out.
Yeah, it had to be. So I'm just wondering, like, um,
Well,
you
if
know,
she
well, I
just found
mean,
out from Nathan, then Haley already knew.
no, because she, looked at Lucas when Karen was yelling at Lucas about it, and Lucas is like, no, he's okay, he's fine, Nathan's fine. So,
Oh,
so
oh.
Haley didn't know until this moment either. So I was wondering, like, was it really
Well,
like bad that he told Karen before Haley?
no, because he is first of all in the clear, and we all know Lucas is not in the clear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and secondly, like, no, because right now Nathan has other problems with his
Right.
wife.
Yeah. I was just thinking. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one thing if they didn't, but like if there was no other problems going on, but no, he has his own things going on with her. He doesn't want to be seen with her or
Mm-hmm.
talk to her. So no, I don't think he is even in the right state of mind.
Right. And the way that Lucas, kept his mom in the dark about it was because he apparently told the doctor that she was in Florence.
Oh,
So,
yeah, a long time ago.
yeah. And technically, it's not like they don't have phones in Florence. You just would have to think about the time difference, but still, you know,
You can leave voicemails.
yeah.
They'll get back to
And
you.
yeah. So,
Oh my God, though, but what did you think though when when he said that basically basketball's everything?
right.
And then she said basketball is just a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, she has a point there.
Yeah.
Like, I see both sides. I see Lucas not wanting to know. But at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, you can drop dead on the floor.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't you want to know?
Right.
But again, yes, it would limit some things that you really want to do. But at the same time, you'll live.
Mm-hmm.
Which didn't the doctor, wasn't it the doctor that told Lucas that there's medication that he can go on, or was it Dan?
No, as a doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was somebody that told him that he can go on medication and live, a long life. So it didn't
Mm-hmm.
make any sense. I was like, Lucas, come on.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then she says the tragic hero crap only works in the movies. And then tells
Oh my
him,
God. Yeah, well, yeah, because then she said that no one tells you that the hero's mother is putting her foot up his ass.
yeah, after the movie ends, yeah.
That was funny.
Lucas, isn't giving in. He says he's not gonna do it. And until he comes to his senses, his basketball days are over because he needs parental permission to play, and he just lost his.
He does.
Mm-hmm. And then
Did you know
sometime during
that?
that, well, it makes sense, yeah, because he's a minor. But
But it's I don't know. I didn't really think in high school you need permission to play a sport.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe football because it's a contact sport, but I couldn't really imagine basketball.
Yeah, I don't know how to say. Um, and then sometime during that moment too, Haley left. I thought I wrote it in here, but I can't find it at the moment.
Oh, it
But
was right when Karen was coming in hot. She was like,
mm-hmm,
"Yeah, I'm gonna leave."
right.
Oh my
But
God,
yeah,
but it was funny. Oh, go ahead.
I would say she left after Karen said, "How can you be so reckless and cavalier about a potentially fatal condition?" That's when she left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was funny because Lucas goes to the river court and
Mm-hmm.
the guys are just like, we're not, we're not playing with you or anything. And who was it that said she was scary? That Karen
Um.
was scary because it was funny. Was it junk or something?
Well, yeah. Skills said that they'll be in danger if they let him play, and Junk says his mom was scary. Yeah.
It was funny. I was like, your
Mm-hmm.
mom was scary. I'm like, she really
Yeah.
was. She did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
he wasn't afraid of her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so now, Lucas knows that she's serious if she's already telling everybody so quickly.
But I did like when Skills said, because when Lucas was like, I'm fine, and Skills was like, well, we'll hear from her.
Hmm.
And I'm like, good job, Skills. Listen to the mom,
Yeah,
not the teenager.
right. And then back at the apartment, Haley finds the bracelet Nathan had gave her from that Cracker Jacker box, whatever it's called. And she
Hmm.
puts it on just as Nathan walks in. And she goes over to hug him. He asks what's going on with her. She says she heard about his heart test, and he tells her he's fine. And
Oh
she
my
asks,
God.
if he's sure. He says yes.
Well, and she was in, I'm not going to see Chris anymore. What, because you almost lost your husband?
Right, yeah. That's what
I'm
it took.
like,
Hmm.
I'm like, really? Hey, but it doesn't stop her. You would
Right.
think, again, okay, Cynthia, again, if you
Hmm.
truly love somebody, and none of that has worked, but them dying might work. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
The thought
Yeah.
of it, losing them might work for you to stop. You would. But the fact
Hmm.
is, Haley has the nerve to not stop, even though she
Right.
said she's going to. She's driving me nuts.
Hmm. And then Lucas walks into the dealership. He confronts Dan about telling Karen about Lucas's heart. And
Okay, Dan. Okay, this is what I mean by like Dan being nice. Is
hmm
we think it's Dan because
yeah,
Lucas is accusing Dan of
assuming, yeah,
telling, yeah. So, but he's going along with it as
yeah.
if he did it. He's like Felix. He's going along with it as if he did it. And I'm like, and then when we find out it's not Dan, I'm like, then why did he act like he did it? Because see, when he was, I'm just glad she knows. And I'm like, okay, the Dan Scott we saw in season one
Hmm.
did everything in his power to defend himself
Right.
against any accusation. So the fact that
Hmm.
Lucas is saying this to him and he's just, oh, whatever. And I'm like, what? Who is this person? That's what I mean. He was like a totally different, nice person.
Yeah.
He was kind
And
of
then,
scary.
yeah, and then it was kind of random how Dan asked Lucas, what he saw when he died, because when his heart failed, he
He
saw
saw
him.
him.
Yeah, no, he didn't. Not even Nathan.
Cynthia, what does that mean when he said, I saw you?
I don't know, it reminded me of when Nathan said that he saw Haley when he passed out too, but Dan, I don't really believe Dan at all. I don't know, for some reason he's just trying to make Lucas think he cares about him for some reason, all of a sudden.
Do you remember last season he wanted to abort him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this season, I almost died, but I thought of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he
Like
said
if you're gonna see anybody, it's gonna be Nathan.
right. And he tells Lucas that his mother can't bear to lose him and neither can he.
Okay, that was the other thing. Not only did he say, I saw you," basically, I was dying, and the last image I saw was you, basically, and then the nerve that he had to say, well, I can't bear losing you either.
Mm-hmm.
I was like looking around, like, am I getting punked again? Because for some reason, Dan is delusional.
Mm-hmm.
Because why would you say this?
Right.
Uh, but why did Lucas not say anything to him?
I don't know.
This is what I mean. Everyone always acts like they're going to go against Dan.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a prime time to do it. And Lucas doesn't do it.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like, I would be like, what are you talking about? You wished me dead. Like,
Right.
do you know what I mean? Like, you didn't want me to exist.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you talking about that you can't bear to lose me? Like, I I would come back at the person because I'm just like, what? Because it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It's coming from now. If Deb would have said that, I would have believed it.
Mm-hmm.
This coming from Dan, the person that definitely he called him that kid so many times. It's just like he doesn't care about Lucas, but for some odd reason, all of a sudden he cares.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's just a way to get Lucas to the dark side? I mean, I'm sorry, to Dan's side.
Yeah, especially because we know what's going to happen later on,
Yeah.
probably. Like, this is what he, was starting to build up to it, maybe.
Yeah, like, Lucas, no, I love you. Come here.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, he doesn't love him.
Right. So it's like he's, making plans to ruin Keith and, make Lucas like him. So,
Well, and also to make Nathan mad.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that too. Make him jealous. Yeah.
Because Nathan's going to get jealous pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then at Peyton's house, another person that walks in a little too late is Anna. And she said she rang the doorbell first time. Anybody's probably rang the doorbell, but Peyton said she
Didn't
didn't
hear
want
it.
to answer. Yeah. And then Anna says she's sorry she blew her off at lunch. And Payne points out that there's starting to be a pattern of her showing up in her room to apologize to her. But at her, Anna says at her last school, there were some rumors about a relationship which she was having with another girl. She tried ignoring it, but the stories kept getting worse until
Well,
finally her parents.
I liked when Peyton said they're just rumors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but okay, so my thing about Anna is like I like her and everything, but at the same time, like I I'm on Peyton's side. And also like you don't want to be seen with Peyton in
Mm-hmm.
public. You only want to show up at her house.
Right.
Like it doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yep.
So like that's not the kind of friendship that you want, is the person that only wants to be seen with you when no one else is around.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a friendship.
Yep.
So, bye, Anna.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm ready for Anna and Felix to go bye bye.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you?
Yes. You
What?
definitely Felix. Yeah.
Well, what more can we do with Mr. Felix?
I don't know.
Because
Not too much.
I don't think there's anybody that is team Brooke and Felix.
Yeah. No. No. No.
So, given that nobody is team Felix, can we just go back to anybody with Brooke besides Felix?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's why they moved because of the rumors, and that's why Felix is so protective of her. He was really happy in their last town. And Anna says that the rumors don't matter because she knows how high school is. Once the story gets out, it might as well be true. So when she saw her locker and the way people were staring at her, it scared her. It was a horrible time for her. And then she asks Payne what she's going to do, and Payne says she doesn't know. Anna tells her she could let it go, but she's not gay, right? And Payne gives Anna one of her records and tells her to read it. Um, And then from the because this is quotes from a song, it's called Regaining Unconsciousness by NOFX. And Hillary had pointed out on the Drama Queens podcast that it was actually taken from an original poem that is up in the Holocaust Museum. I
Hmm.
don't know if you remember hearing that on the podcast or anything.
Mm-mm.
But it was similar lyrics, but more toward Jewish people. And then so I was kind of surprised they actually did that because that was probably maybe one of the deepest themes they've had in this show. Talking about literature and art and all that. But Anne explains that it's not about who she is, it's about who they are. There are people who hate and divide and feed off of people that don't fight back, and she wishes she could laugh it off. But what about the girl that can't? Who's going to help her? Silence only makes them stronger. And it's true. And then the next scene, Felix walks out to find all the tires flat on his car.
Oh,
And then
Brooke.
yep, she's on the porch, sitting in a rocking chair, sipping
All
lemonade, it looks
happy.
like. Mm-hmm. Acting like she doesn't know what happened to his car. And then we see a quick scene with,
I'm surprised. Like when she was rocking in that chair, I was like, they have a chair? Like they have a
yeah,
rocking chair? Mommy
right.
and Daddy didn't sell it at the
Yeah, that's what I was
garage
thinking
sale?
too. Mm-hmm. And then we see Payne's spray painting on a shirt, but we can't see the cameras and face on it. And then we go back to Brooke's house again, where her car is being towed away by Lucas to go get fixed.
Uh,
And then
what?
yeah.
Cynthia.
Hmm.
This is Lucas's first time in season 2 driving the truck. He
Oh yeah,
I'm
because
so confused because
so is he working there?
Keith's auto shop thing, it doesn't exist. It became Dan Scott. So what in
Yeah,
Lucas, okay,
I
so
didn't
remember
think of
when
that.
Keith had that position, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Lucas gave it to Nathan. So Lucas was out of a job.
Right.
Where is he working? I'm so confused. All of a sudden he works?
Not unless for some reason Lucas fixed the car himself personally at his house and still
He
had
would
the
not
truck.
have, but he wouldn't have a truck to come get it.
What if he somehow got it after the business deal went badly with Dan? I
No,
don't know. I don't
because
know.
it was still going.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
That
was
would have
just
to
so
be a
confused.
question for the writers.
I was just like, Lucas does not have a job there anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they don't want to pay a person to pick it up in the same truck. I don't know. Or a different truck.
But I feel like we should have got something that
Hmm.
said he worked there
Yeah.
still.
Because they didn't even have to like show the whole truck. They could have just like took a back shot of in the back of the truck going away from the camera and you see like the back of Brooke's car, going farther away in the distance. That could have been enough too. Or even just from the side
Yeah,
exit
but they were trying to
view or
show
whatever.
that Lucas is the one that's fixing it.
Yeah, I know,
But
but
my thing
like,
is,
yeah.
Lucas doesn't work there
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't
because
know.
when Dan took over, Lucas no longer had a job.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
And we all know Lucas was not going to work for Dan Scott.
Mm-hmm. No.
So that's what's confusing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he started working somewhere else. I don't know. But we never heard that.
Yeah, the last time we heard was that he was going to help his mom at the cafe when she went back to school, but that was it. And we haven't seen him work there either. But yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because that would have been like more understandable. Like he doesn't have a job, so he might as well work
Mm-hmm.
there. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's not working at all.
Mm-hmm. And then Haley goes to the studio to see Chris. She sees that he's busy recording.
Why? Why?
So yeah, she tells the
Why?
sound guy she'll see him later. Yeah.
Why is she there?
I don't know, to get closure that she
No,
doesn't
no.
really need. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying in
She
her mind,
just
that's what she
met
sees it to
him.
be. Mm-hmm.
Like, I love Nathan. Don't be messing with Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Like,
Yeah.
girl, no. Like, I cannot with Haley. You messed this up so bad. But why are you, if you have no feelings for this person, why do you need closure?
I don't know, but she probably doesn't even know that Nathan went over there and almost broke his
Beat him.
hand. So she doesn't know how much damage she's even causing even more. So
But again, you said, I'm not going to see him anymore.
hmm
What are you doing?
like I
Seeing
said,
him.
yeah, in her mind she's like saying bye or whatever, but yeah.
But you haven't known him that long that you need to say
Hmm.
goodbye.
Right.
Ugh, I can't with that girl.
Hmm. And then Jules gets to Keith's place to see that he unpacked his things. He tells
I
her he
can't with
accepted
Jules
Dan's
either.
offer. Hmm. Yeah, he said that Charleston was always about hope for him, a place where maybe he could find something special. But he found that right here with her. She's given him hope.
Ugh, they just met.
Mm.
I'm over their little storyline too.
I just don't see how Keith could fall in love with someone that he knows very little about, whereas with Karen, he knew everything about her and knew her forever. But yeah, just weird to see with him seeing the opposite. And the next scene, Lucas has returned Brooke's car after fixing it and wiping the windshield as she walks up. And then, how much she, is going to cost. He tells her nothing. He called in a couple of favors. So that's why I'm thinking maybe he did it on his own somewhere. I don't know. Maybe he took it to the garage and told the workers there not to tell Dan. I don't know. And then Brooke hugs him just as Anna walks up and says hi to her. Anna greets Lucas and kisses him on the cheek. Then Anna goes to the back in the truck while Brooke and Lucas say bye. So you can tell that Brooke was kind of sad when Anna walked up
Well,
because
yeah, and I was
yeah.
too because it was all cutesy until Anna walked up.
Hmm. But it just seemed like she was like maybe starting to have a little bit of feelings for Lucas again, maybe or
Yeah, but
something.
did you see he looked back at her?
Yeah. Yep. And then the next scene is with Peyton walking through the hallway with her
Oh
shirt.
my God.
Hmm.
This is a good scene.
Yeah. Everyone is looking at her because she had spray painted the, D slur for lesbians in red like her locker. And her and Anna look at each other as she passes by her. Of course, Anna's not, standing by her again. And then
Anna's trying to act like she didn't see anything.
hmm Mal catches up to Lucas on the quad and asks if he can talk to him. He brings up how he heard about, he fixed Brooke's windshield. He wants to pay for it. Lucas tells him he doesn't have to. Mouth insists because he was the one who did it. So back in the hallway, Peyton closes her locker when Principal Turner walks up. He tells her she knows they have a policy regarding wardrobe that is offensive or profane. Payne points out at her locker and asks if the policy extends to lockers because he hasn't removed it yet.
Okay, that was my problem
Mm-hmm.
I had was okay, I get the whole school policy thing, but I agree with her. Like, what about the locker? Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's supposed to just deal with what's written on her locker.
Right, and
Are
it's
you
been a
kidding
day.
me?
Mhm. And it's still there,
No.
yeah. No one's
Yeah.
washed it off. Mm-hmm.
So that's what was my problem was I agree with her. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
you need to get that off her locker
Yeah, and find
and
out who
then we'll
did it.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah. But he still says, go to the office and change or be sent home. And then Payne goes into if he's heard about Victor Hara. She explains he was a musician and he fought injustice with his songs. And when they broke his hands and when they taunted him, he's saying even louder. Mr. Turner says oppression is not a mystery to him. I think Payne did forget who she was talking about, talking to for a second there. But he goes on to say he feels her pain, and she says that he doesn't know anything about her pain. He says maybe so, but there are counselors she can talk to, literature to read. Payne tells him she's not gay, but even if she was, she wouldn't let other people tear her down because of it. And she sure as hell wouldn't be looking for her answers in one of his pamphlets. My goodness. And Mr. Turner says again, the policy is clear. Remove the shirt or
Remove
be
the shirt, be
suspended.
suspended. And
Mm-hmm.
so, oh my God, she removes the shirt.
Yep. Yeah, and she throws that at him and she asks if he can hear her now and then walks off and tells her to enjoy her suspension.
And everybody's watching.
Hmm. Yeah, so she did have the right to do that. Yeah, again, we didn't see anybody there in the hallway with her, no Brooke, Lucas, or even Anna just to watch, she was alone again. And then Lucas and Mouth are walking somewhere in town with Mouth telling Lucas he probably thinks he's an idiot. He's hoping he has an evil twin, that actually did this, not him. Lucas tells him vandalizing Brooke's car isn't him. He says he guesses that's why he did it. Girls want, see him as a little brother. They always tell him how nice he is. And Lucas says that's because he is nice or you are nice. And that's why he has so many friends. Mouth adds, and no girlfriend.
Oh my God. But it was funny though, because he said that, so he had to give examples, of course.
Hmm.
And he was like, Haley fell for Nathan when he was a jerk. Brooke went for Felix. And then, oh my God, then he has to take one step further and say, Luke, you screwed up a lot this year. You've been, was it like he had a different girl every week? And I'm like,
Hmm.
and then like Lucas is like looking at him like, what did you
Hmm.
just say? Like, don't even like, and I was like, oh, this is getting good. Like,
Yeah.
mouth, you out, you, I can't.
Yeah, I got a little carried away. He says he tried to be honest with Brooke. He told her the truth, and she still left with Felix anyways. Lucas
Um,
says, yeah, to end things with him.
don't you remember when Mouth was hanging around Felix so much and ditched his own friends?
Hmm. Yeah. And Mouse says he didn't know that at the time. And all he knew was, did I say mouse? It seemed like I said mouse.
Yeah.
Mouth. He says he didn't know that at the time. All he knew was that he was at another party where everybody had someone but him.
Peyton didn't have anybody.
Right. But again, they weren't really friends. So I guess he just didn't really pay attention, didn't notice.
No, but I'm just saying there's other people that didn't have. Who did
Yeah.
Tim have? Ain't nobody going out with him.
Was he even there?
Yeah, remember he got Nathan alcohol.
No, I mean at the party at the beach house
Well,
afterward.
I'm sure Tim was there. He got the
Right.
key for Nathan.
Right. I just don't remember seeing him actually there.
No, because at
Um,
that point, his story didn't matter
right.
because he didn't
Yeah,
really
and then,
have one.
yeah. Mouse says that he got drunk, just one drink, but it was a big one. Next thing he knew, he was at Brooke's house, and he rode his bike there and fell a couple times.
Oh my God, that
Next
was funny
day,
because Lucas is like, "You drove?" And he goes, "No, I rode my
mm-hmm,
bike."
yeah. And he felt terrible the next day about it, and even worse when he found out that Lucas fixed it. And Lucas says Brooke ended uh I missed a word in my notes there. Um oh, there you go. I misspoke. He tells Lucas tells Mouth that Brooke thinks that Felix did it. Mouse says he knows and he's gonna tell. Did I say Mouse again? I don't know why I'm
I don't know.
messing up.
But he said,
Mouth.
yeah, he
Yeah,
said that he's gonna tell her the truth.
yeah. And then he says he has liked Brooke for a long time, and he tells Lucas it was okay when he was with her. He always thought that their hearts were the same, which I thought was sweet. But I don't know.
Trying to cover up what he really said.
Yeah, and kind of like a little too late, since they're broken up. But Brooke is at her house where she's writing something when an envelope is pushed under her door. She goes outside to see Felix walking away from her house, and Brooke asks him what's in the envelope, and he replies with, the money for the window. And Brooke says, then,
You did it.
yeah, and he says he didn't. She then opens the envelope to see the money and a picture of Felix with another woman.
I'm like,
And Brooke asks,
I did not like when she said, "Who's the hoe?"
right, just like how she was when she first saw Anna. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, why is everyone a hoe, Brooke?
yeah. Like I said, this show just did like a lot of slut shaming in this for no reason. But Felix says her name is Kayla, and
It's
that
his
was yeah.
girlfriend of a couple of years, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, it's shocking to hear that Felix actually had a girlfriend for a couple of
Right.
years,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently they stayed in the same town for period like that long.
Yeah. So
Because
I don't
I
know.
thought they moved. I thought he went to like 10 different schools in the last 5 years or something. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was just kind of weird. And then to find out that he's been with her for 2, 3 years, I'm like, I don't know if that really adds up, but okay.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Um, but yeah, I guess she broke up with him, and then um, that's when he just did the whole friends with benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But he really does like Brooke,
Mm-hmm.
which I was happy that he was finally owning it, like the truth.
Yeah.
Because, he's been annoying because all he does is the whole friends with benefits and doesn't tell her the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. And then she says again that she's supposed to believe him. Didn't believe she's supposed to believe that he didn't break her windshield. Because he's still paying for it. And he says she doesn't have to because it's still the truth. So.
mhm.
And then Nathan gets to the river court where the guys are. He asks Lucas what's up with Junk Skills and Fergie.
And it was funny because Dan told my mom about the test. And then he said it was like his bad for trusting him for this with the secret and stuff. And then I
Mhm.
love how Nathan, this is what I mean, like everybody's just out in themselves and everything else. Like, because Nathan's like, he didn't tell her, I did. And I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know you and Karen were that close.
Right. Yeah, because I don't think they ever had a scene or a moment together in the
Leading up
series
to
yet.
this? No. Well,
Mm.
they do on the river court when Haley leaves.
Right. Yeah. Just up to this
But
point. Yeah.
that one is the only one that I remember.
Right.
So they're not that close.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But
but then,
I'm sure he got her number from his mom or something, or
or he
went to the
went to
cafe and saw
I was
her.
gonna
Yeah.
say the cafe,
Mm-hmm.
when he was trying to avoid his wife.
Yeah.
Well, then Lucas then gets all upset at Nathan and was like, "Oh, I guess like Dan's like not the only one I can't trust and stuff." And it's like, Lucas, just shut up. Like everyone is worried about you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It even brings up like I covered you, with Haley, about spending the night, as if that was like he owed him, to
But I
keep that
did like,
secret.
but I did like when he said, "Yeah, about crashing for a night, not about
Mm-hmm.
my life."
Yeah. That's still not good enough for Lucas. He's still mad. And then that's when Skills walks over and Luke, oh yeah, like you just said. Lucas says that Nathan's right. He's wrong for that Lucas is Skills tells Lucas he's right. He's wrong for not taking the test. It's not fair to them or his mom. And Lucas tells Skills, why doesn't he just run with Nathan
Run
from
with
now
Nathan from
on?
now on. I
Yeah.
was like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And
it's kind of
tosses him the
funny.
ball.
It's
Mm,
like Nathan's like looking at skills, and it's like, because I'm just like, because we know what the future holds, and then it's just kind of funny because it's like Nathan, like, oh, these people are pretty cool.
right.
I don't know, it's just kind of funny. I'm like, oh, Lucas, one day you'll be out of it.
Yeah. And it was really something for Skills to like not yell back at Lucas, because Skills says, how about you take the test and we all run together? He's not getting mad at him even though Lucas is lashing out at him. So
And I love how they all just want to be friends.
mm-hmm.
They're not trying to like pick one over the other. Like everybody just wants to be friends, and that's the way that it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Lucas is becoming a little too much drama.
Right. And then at Brooke's house, Peyton walks in. Brooke says that she was going to call her, and Peyton says she, needs somebody to talk to. She needs her. So much stuff is
Okay,
piling up.
I have this scene. So, she said that she really needs Brooke as a friend and everything. And Brooke's telling her, like, oh, you have me. You're not going to lose me and all this. And Peyton goes into detail of what is going on. And then Felix walks out of the bathroom. Well, because Peyton said, I'm so glad you're not with him. And then he comes out of the bathroom. Um, so she gets all weirded out and then leaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
My thing with Brooke is you had you had plenty of time before that to like
Tell her.
say it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also you can see that your best friend needs you.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't you be like, hang on, go into the bathroom or whatever, tell Felix he's gotta go,
Mm-hmm.
and then spend like how she did it wasn't exactly good.
Mm-hmm.
Because she let Peyton go on and on and on, and then he walks out. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like she put anything together to stop the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if you're really there for your friend, you would kick him out, and then you guys can talk girl to girl,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can spend time and actually be there for her. But Brooke doesn't want to do that,
Mm-hmm.
clearly, because otherwise she would have. I just didn't like how it played out.
Yeah, me neither.
Because like Peyton was like all embarrassed, and it's like, Brooke,
Mm-hmm.
that's your responsibility to stop it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then Peyton leaves and says she'll just call her later. And then Chris is in the studio singing and playing his guitar. Just then Haley walks in again.
Why? She had
Just
the opportunity the last time she walked in.
Yeah, but he was
Ugh.
too busy. Yeah. Even though she could have waited until he was done singing, because the second he would have saw her, he would have
He would have
stopped
ran out,
everything. So
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so she tells him, his sound, he sounds good. And he says, thanks, it's getting there. And Haley tells him she hopes he knows how much she appreciates everything he's done for her, but she doesn't think they should work together anymore. And Chris says, so he got to you, Nathan. And he says, no, she just thinks it's for the best. And then Chris mentions the labels from New York offered him a showcase. He thinks he's going to take it. And Haley says that's great. And Chris tells her he's leaving tonight, so he won't be able to play the show at Trick anyway. So this is goodbye. Haley hugs him and says,
Okay, why? First of all, why is she gotta hug him? Okay, that's the first step.
mm-hmm,
Also, they were way too close to begin with. You can have a conversation with somebody 5 feet apart. You don't have to be that close.
mm-hmm,
Also, and they kiss.
yep. And they pull away from hug,
Okay,
yep.
but again, why is she that close to him?
Yeah, I know.
If you have no feelings for this person, you wouldn't be that close. She never stands that close to Lucas.
Mm-mm,
And she's known him since she was a kid. This is
mm-hmm,
my point. She likes Chris.
mm-hmm,
Because if she didn't, she would stand far back as if he's a stranger. She wouldn't have gone there in the first place. And also, she wouldn't have freaking kissed him. And here's the
right.
thing because, there's like a whole debate of who kissed who. Yes, he went for it. But she didn't back down.
Right. Yeah, she didn't pull
She
away.
didn't push him away or
Mm-mm.
anything. Remember when Pacey kissed Joey and he got his butt beat up from her?
Mm-hmm.
It was like she didn't even do that.
Yeah.
There was no hitting.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, she liked it. And then she was like blaming him, like, well, why'd you do that? And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
girl, first of all, that
Yeah.
kiss went on way too long.
Mm-hmm.
First of all. Secondly, why didn't she pull away as soon as he was leaning in?
Right. Or
She
after
had
the
plenty of
first second. Yeah.
opportunities. This
Mm-hmm.
girl had plenty of opportunities to move away.
Yep. Yep. But she still blames him and storms out.
And here's the thing, you're in a fight with your husband. It doesn't give you an excuse to go make out with somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And then Chris tells her, over in the next scene, Chris tells her to take the bus ticket to go with him to New York. She brings up the fact that she's married, and Chris
Oh,
says,
now
or,
she's bringing up she has a husband.
or maybe they think they're still in the studio at this point. Um,
Yeah, they are. But
yeah.
now she finally says that she's married and has a husband.
Mm-hmm.
This whole time I've been trying to say it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so annoying. Like, why is she being so childish? I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. And Chris says, so you made a mistake. Are you going to let that keep you from the rest of your life? Haley says she didn't make a mistake. Chris tells
No,
her she
but
owes it to her music.
Nathan's starting to think he made one.
Right. Her dreams are just a bus ride away. He knows that's what she wants, and she tells him he's wrong. She doesn't want it. And then she starts walking away when Chris says it was always between them, whether she admits it or not. And then at Trick, Peyton puts up a sign on the window that says House of Freaks canceled. So that's, I guess, what the night, that was supposed to be with Haley and Chris. Just then Anna walks in and brings up the cancellation of the show and asks if it's because of the rumors. And Payne says it's because she can't sing and dance and she'd rather be alone right now. Anna says, okay, but she wanted to tell her how inspired she was when she saw her at school today. And Payne says, that's great. She was inspired, but when she needed her to stand by her, she blew her off. So she doesn't need her right now.
Exactly. Bad
Yep.
friend.
Mm-hmm. So she does with Lucas and Anna in the same episode. And then Payton calls Rex. And then at the apartment, next scene, Lucas drops by to see Nathan. He asks him if this is an apology. Nathan says this is Haley's apology because he's you know decorated the whole living room or dining room all nice and fancy.
This is when Nathan's looking real good.
Hmm.
I mean, okay, and then on top of it, not only is he like looking good, he's being so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't with like take Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, you want Chris?
Right.
I'm sorry. You got Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? There is no competition in my eyes.
Right.
For me, it's Nathan all the way.
Mm-hmm. I think Haley is just like kind of drawn in by like the similar interest in music and the singing and all that. So which is just one thing compared to everything that Nathan has. Yeah. Um, yeah. So, Nathan was telling Lucas like nobody wants to lose him. And Lucas says no, there's nothing wrong with his heart. Nathan points out that's what he said after the car accident. And he told him he didn't want to be afraid to live his life, but he doesn't want to buy it. He didn't buy it. He thinks there's something in his heart he's running from. Lucas laughs and asks if he's psychic. And um, Nathan says he can make jokes all he wants, but he knows that, there's a girl he has feelings for. He tells Lucas to look him in the eye
Now,
and tell him he's
how
wrong.
did Nathan get that out of that?
Yeah, I don't know. Because does Nathan even know that
He
Anna
likes
broke things off?
Brooke.
Well, that too. Yeah, both things. Yeah.
No, I don't think Nathan knows any of them.
Mm. Yeah. So Nathan says, but until he tells the girl how he feels, his heart's always going to be flawed. So that's a little different than a serious heart test. And the next scene is Peyton driving, and then we see Brooke at home leaving a voicemail for Peyton. She's worried about her, and Felix tells Brooke she'll be okay. And Brooke tells
Then
him
Brooke
to go.
tells like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Do I have to? Oh my God.
yeah. And he knows it. He says that he knows it was wrong to lie lied to her about taking her home from Trick. When she looked at him the way she did, it felt so good. He wanted to be looked at like that again. And she says she sees the real him and she liked what she saw. Brooke tells him he can't do this to her. He can't not do it because he's tired from, hiding from it. He wants her to know that he never once took her for granted. That's kind of the title of this episode here. And then we see Mouth out on the river court alone. Next, we see Deb show up at Karen's. She tells Deb she lied to her.
This
She
is
left.
so weird because she's out of nowhere. She's actually confessing that she slept with Keith.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, we haven't. That wasn't in any of this episode, right?
Right. Wasn't
Except
that
for the
last
scene.
episode? Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not like she had a storyline in this episode.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
She literally walks in out of nowhere and says, I slept with Keith.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not like we saw her debating this whole episode telling her.
Right.
Out of nowhere, she just shows up and tells her. I'm like, where'd this come from?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. And then we go to Keith's.
But don't you
He's
think
leaving
it's a little too late to tell her?
Yeah, especially now because she already knows too. But yeah. And
Well,
then we
and
go to.
also, if Dan already told Karen and then Karen confronted Deb and she said it wasn't true, who else would be the one to say that they slept together? Like, if she's trusting Deb, then there's nothing Dan can say unless he's got like videotape of it.
Right.
Because Keith doesn't say anything. He's too, I don't know. I don't want to say in love, but he's too in his own little world with Jules that he wouldn't say anything. So I don't really get why Deb feels the need to say it right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Just to come clean. I don't know. And then we go to Keith, who's leaving a voicemail for Jules. He says he realized
Saying he loves
something.
her.
Yeah. And then back at her place, she
Okay.
was.
Okay, like he's a grown up. Why
Mhm.
is he saying I love you on an answering machine?
I don't know. Maybe because she's. I don't know. I can't even say like maybe she said that he told him that she's working at this time, but she would probably have a cell phone, to reach her at. But I
But
don't
wouldn't
know.
you just wait to see the person?
Yeah, I don't know. Unless he's like being like a teenager and can't like tell her in person because he's too nervous or something. I don't know.
Because it's just weird because they seem to spend every night together.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't you just wait till you saw her tonight?
Right.
It was weird. But then, of course, okay, this is the thing. You get Dan nice the whole episode till this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it goes, it zooms in with Jules listening to the voicemail. And then it fades to, the camera comes back to Dan in the room. I was like, oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dan said, nice work, Jules.
Just like we
Oh,
planned.
yes. What?
Yeah.
This is when it was like, okay, he's just not nice. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like he played it
Yeah.
all episode of being nice, and then look what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is when it makes sense how Jules was being so vague about,
Weird.
her background and past and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. I swear she has to like write down everything she's telling him just so that she can remember what she said.
Mm-hmm. And then Lucas ends up at Anna. She, asks what's wrong. He says she knows how much he cares about her, but there's somebody else. Oh yeah, I forgot he ended it. She's a part of his history, but that came before her, and he's been lying to himself about the way he feels about her. And he needs to see her tonight because he feels like she's slipping away. So, I feel like Lucas could have just said that there's somebody else. He didn't really need to add the rest of that, you know?
They were trying to, because Peyton was on her own little journey, so they were trying to maybe piece it as he was going after Peyton, but we all know he wasn't.
Right. I know, I figured maybe he could just say like there's somebody else and then we see him drive so we know he's going somewhere, like to see her, whoever she is. I don't know. And then we see Peyton park somewhere and gets out of her car. Just then Rick walks over to her, tell her to relax. He asks if this is what she's after and pulls out a small bag of Coke. She
And
goes to take
then
it.
someone walks up,
Mm-hmm.
and then we don't know who it is yet because then that Rick guy goes, "Do you know him?"
Yep.
And then it's Jake.
Yep.
I have a problem with Jake though.
Why?
Hmm. Okay, so he left because
Right.
he was running from Nikki, which was
Mm-hmm.
only a couple months ago. It
Yeah.
hasn't even been a year. Hasn't even been
Mm-hmm.
half of a year. And he was running away from her. So why would you go back?
Because he heard Peyton was in trouble. I don't know.
Your child comes first.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. And also, he has ghosted her this whole time. Every time she's tried to call him, he doesn't answer. She has not talked to him. So why would he return? It would have
I don't
been
know.
one thing. It would have been one thing if he knew. Do you know what I mean? That
Mm-hmm.
she was struggling this whole time and it was like, I have to go see you now. You know what I mean? Like I keep hearing
Yeah.
it in your voice or in text messages or whatever. But it's like, or from their friends. But the fact
Yeah.
that he knows nothing and he's just showing up? What?
No, because well, she's been emailing him. We don't know what she says in the emails. I'm sure she's not, telling him everything, but maybe just kind of like little hints and here and there or something. But Lucas wasn't Lucas the one that ends up calling him because he knows that Payne won't listen to him, so maybe she'll listen to Jake kind of thing.
I don't know, but I just don't know why Jake ended things with Peyton to
Mm-hmm.
begin with so that he could protect his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to imagine that Jake would come back to rescue Peyton when he has a daughter that's at stake.
Right.
At stake. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You just wouldn't do that, and especially Jake. Like he's so protective over her.
Mm-hmm.
I just I can't see it. I know it was a way to bring Brian back, but how Jake left and who Jake is, he wouldn't come back.
Right.
If anything, he would like tell Lucas to have Peyton meet him in some town or something. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't, he would bring Peyton to him. He wouldn't come back
Right.
ever
Mm-hmm.
because Nikki might be around or she might have some people watching. You never know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, his parents' house is probably bugged from Nikki.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Nathan is at home with dinner set up for him and Haley.
So
And
sad.
then yeah, and then Chris is at the bus station.
My heart breaks for Nathan. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
then why does she have to
Tristan.
show up?
Yeah. And
Okay, okay. You if you thought the kiss was bad, the girl shows up
mm-hmm.
to
Yeah,
what? Say goodbye again?
yeah, no.
Cynthia, we already saw them say goodbye 10 times. Do we
I know, I
really
didn't
need to
write
see it
this.
again?
Yeah, I didn't put this in here, so I don't know why they did this again. They should just, I don't know, save. I feel like they probably should have saved the kiss at this point if they're gonna do that, instead of in
Yeah,
the
they could have kissed at
studio.
the bus stop.
Yeah,
Oh my
and that
God.
would have
Not
been
that they needed a kiss at all, but
yeah, and then that's even worse because there's witnesses around. So I mean,
no, no. It's
obviously, if anybody's seen
worse.
them, but
It's worse because she knows how he feels. He
hmm
frickin' kissed her
yeah,
and he said what he said. And
hmm
then to make it worse, okay, here's the thing is again, if you're innocent and you
hmm
don't have feelings for this person,
hmm
you would never be around them.
right,
You would get the heck out of there to never be seen with them again.
yeah, and
And yet she's going to see him again.
hmm
You know what I
yeah,
mean? I
hmm
can't.
yeah, she was giving the excuse that she was on her way home to Nathan, but ended up there. And then she even was crying a little bit because
Yeah. Why is she crying?
yeah. And then, the announcer says the bus is about to leave. Chris, takes out the extra bus ticket and asks if she's ready. And then we go back to Brooke and Felix, who, he's trying to get her to talk. He wants to know how she feels. He says he knows it's scary. He knows she had a tough time with Lucas. He says to tell him if she can show him her heart, because if she does, he'll guard it with his life. And just say okay, he says. And Brooke says okay, but she's not happy at all. She's upset and scared to go forward with him. And she says okay again and tries to force a small smile on her face. And then they kiss. Her door was open at this moment. And that's when Lucas comes into view and sees them kissing. Yep. So I remember when we well, for me, my first watch, I thought that he was actually going to see Peyton, not Brooke. But, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's how they let it, but yeah.
Mhm.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm not excited to see Jake come back. Uh, I mean, I always just thought Jake and Peyton were boring, so the only thing they had in common was Jenny.
And then
So,
highs and lows.
um, oh my God. The low was every time Haley and Chris were together.
Yeah, me too.
Bus stop. Every time she would try to go and talk to him.
Hmm.
And the kiss. I mean, hello.
Hmm.
And also, her lying to Nathan once again, breaking his heart, saying, I'm not going to see him again.
And sees him twice. Yep.
I can't with that girl.
Oh, no, three times
Three
actually.
times,
After that. Yep.
He only saw her twice, but she saw him
Hmm.
3 times.
Yep.
Um, and then the high. Is there a high?
Well, my low is the same
Uh,
as yours, and I was gonna say the high is
you're gonna say Jake
everyone.
coming back, but
No, I was gonna say everybody, Nathan and Skills, Fergie, and Mouth, telling Lucas like he's they can't play basketball and until he takes a test, so like looking out for him and everything like that. So they're just looking out for him.
yeah, I like Nathan and Skills together.
Hmm.
Like teaming up, that's
Yeah.
a cute duo. I
Hmm.
like that one.
Yep. And then rating.
Um, I would rate this a 9.
Mm.
I really enjoyed it. I told you it was comical. I was laughing and upset at Haley. Like, I mean, it's just like it had all the feels in this episode. And also, too, I told you it was like every episode it was, or every scene, it was like, what is going on? Because people are outing each other, then they're outing themselves. And then yet it was like, what's going to happen next? Who's next?
Hmm. Yeah.
So I like the entertainment of it because you did not know what was going to happen next or
Right.
who was next.
Hmm.
What about you?
Um, I'd say an 8. I just didn't like the all the mess with Haley and Chris.
Well, that's
And
why
yeah,
it's only
and
it's only a 9.
yeah, and Nathan too had that nice dinner all set out for them at the apartment, like looking like a fancy restaurant and everything, and then she didn't
Oh,
show
never
up.
mind. I know what my best what my
Hi.
I was.
What?
Oh, I have two.
Okay.
One was when Karen went off on Lucas. Perfect
Hmm.
performance.
Yeah.
And then when Nathan went up
Hmm.
to Chris. Oh, and God, like
Hmm.
so yes. Never mind. There were some highs in this.
Hmm.
There were.
Yeah.
You can't tell me Karen did not have a good performance.
No, she did. That's probably the best performance in the whole series, maybe that I can
I was
remember
like,
from her.
girl, winner.
Hmm.
No, later on when she goes after Dan, I would
Oh yeah,
say
yeah.
that's also one of her best performances. But this
Hmm.
one against Chad, I would say,
Yeah.
was
Hmm.
definitely good. Um, so who's your best? I know who your worst is.
Who?
Does it start with an H?
No.
What? Your worst?
Well, I mean, she's a close second, but my worst was actually Chris, because like it's both, her and him still doing this after, Nathan told them both to basically stop seeing each other, you know?
No.
Well, I'm just surprised that Chris would risk his guitar hand after that. Because What does Chris think that, Nathan won't go after them or something, or at least try, and then really give it to him.
Because Chris doesn't think Nathan's gonna do anything. For
Well, you
some
think he would.
reason, he thinks he's like bigger
Safe?
and better
Oh.
than
Mm-hmm.
Nathan. Kind of like how Lucas always thought he was bigger and better. I think that's how Chris plays it.
Mm.
Like, I'm better than you and I'm tough. Like, dude, you're not though.
Mm-hmm. And then my best was Peyton because of how she stood up for herself about the rumors at school and everything with the locker and her shirt, even though she had to do it alone.
Mhm.
And yours?
Okay, so the worst, 100,000% Haley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, I can't with that girl. Like, she was driving me crazy this whole entire episode from beginning to end
Yeah.
between Nathan, Lucas, and then Chris. Like, I can't with you.
Mm-hmm.
And, um, I mean, here's the thing. Even if we didn't know what happened in the future, just watching this episode was bad
Yeah.
because there's so much lying that she's doing. And also, if this was a regular boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, these two would not be together right now. The only thing that's holding them together is the fact that they have a marriage.
Yeah.
Um, and then I went with the best was Nathan because he told Karen because he knew Lucas was never going to. Then he outed himself by saying he did it.
Yeah.
Which I was shocked that he said that, but he told the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And he still stood up to Lucas. And I love the scene where he went after Chris.
Yeah.
And also he's dealing with that wife of his, the lying, cheating
Mm-hmm.
wife. That
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
the worst one. She you just gotta feel for him. I mean, come on now. He's dealing with her. She says
Mm-hmm.
1 minute she's not gonna stop working with him. Then she says she's going to, but she's really not. Like, and then he set up that whole dinner. Does he even know how to cook? Like, I just, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Nathan is not. I don't think he was like made to be romantic, like, season one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like he's just so romantic. Like I can't with him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the thing is why does he have to keep apologizing for what?
Right.
When is she going to apologize? Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in this episode, he didn't have to. I don't think he should have apologized once.
Yeah. I
She
mean,
needed to apologize.
yeah, I mean, she didn't feel bad until after she heard about his heart test. So,
But again, it didn't make her stop seeing Chris.
mm-hmm.
She only told Nathan so that he wouldn't get worked up about it.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop her.
Mm-mm.
And again, if you love and you're a loyal wife, you'll stop.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I just love Nathan, but he was
Yeah.
so good and cute in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next episode?
Oh, episode 11, The Heart Brings You Back.
The heart. Oh god. I'm afraid to see what that is.
Okay, so we'll see you next time.
All right, thanks for listening.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would appreciate it.